You forgot the lure on ChatGPT? ChatGPT has no lure. That's the gambit. We disappeared? Chat, we're back. Yes. Be disrespectful to Etalus, thank you. ChatGPT, it's the dumbest of dumb. All right, we did it. We did it. We did it. The chat's back. Doesn't deserve the tier. Okay. Everyone say hi to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So for people who don't know, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be ranking the characters in terms of how hard they are to play. So we're going to be we're going to be having a conversation about like what makes them difficult to pick up, what makes them difficult to master, and at what like rank, let's say, they start getting more or less difficult. So we're going to jump into this. We'll start with Zetterburn. I feel like Zetterburn as a character is pretty easy, and I feel like not many people would contest that. I think Zetterburn, especially now, has a very like simple game plan where a lot of his stuff works how you would expect. He's got good aerials. He's just got like simple moves. The one little bit that like I guess has some degree of skill expression that can make him a little bit harder is Shine. And just like learning how to use Shine and where you can use Shine and how to convert off of Shine. It's not exactly hard, but it takes like some degree of it takes some degree of proficiency to convert off of Shine. I think Zetterburn's strengths and like straightforwardness definitely make him one of the easier characters in the game. And I think the other aspect of it is like his recovery is fairly straightforward as long as you can do the angles. The angles aren't like super free, but they're okay. And I think all of that combines into a character that's just like my dog can wave Shine. Oh, he's not hard. Let's put it that way. He's not hard. He's pretty easy. And so we'll start with there. I feel like that's a good spot to be. Ranno, I feel like he's not the Scroll Havler, but he's probably the Noler. I think Ranno is a character that seems really simple on paper, and like his moves are really simple. So I can get like the instinct to put him a little bit lower. I think the bit that makes Ranno a little bit harder is that you have to know how to edgeguard like pretty proficiently, because if you're not going off stage and edgeguarding again to a pretty proficient degree, you're gonna get owned. Once you get to those higher levels, you have to get pretty good recovery routes going to get back as Ranno. And then I feel like playing around in neutral as Ranno, especially because he's so disincentivized from jumping, also requires a little bit extra. But again, this could be me kind of talking about high level, because some people are pointing out, and I feel like they're right, is at low level where Ranno doesn't have to worry about his recovery and doesn't get as punished as hard for jumping. Yeah, and all of that stuff kind of works out for him, and people don't have like optimal counterplay. He's definitely less hard. The problem is when people get good, stuff starts getting worse. And so then he gets more difficult because you have to optimize on a lot of things, and you have to be like very careful and neutral. And he does play like a real disadvantage, unlike a lot of characters. So I guess we could put him down here. If we're talking about like your average experience in ranked, where you're like a diamond player or whatever, or not even a diamond. I think gold, silver is the average rank. If you're playing ranked generally, and if you're getting anywhere like even close to like diamond, masters, whatever, he's going to be down here, right? Once you start pushing like masters, grandmasters, Etherean, he starts getting up here. But for the sake of this list, we can put him down here because I can get on board with that. I can get on board with it, okay? Yippee! Wrastor. I feel like Wrastor might be the hardest character in the game. And I mean, hear me out, okay? This character is like one, not very good. Two, has to play like a very careful neutral sub 60%. Three is the lightest character in the game. And then four has like really specific combo routes and kill confirms that only start working if you put like enough time into the character to like get them down. I feel like at a low level, this character probably feels awful. Because he doesn't have a lot of like super obvious strengths. You're right. Wrastor does not accidentally kill people. And again, this is not to say that Wrastor is like the hardest working character that you could ever like possibly imagine. But at the very least, the way you have to play neutral with Wrastor, the way that you have to play advantage with Wrastor, the way you have to like play disadvantage with Wrastor, like he even gets gimped at low levels. I feel like to play Wrastor, especially in those like average ranks, if we're talking about like gold, platinum, and even like touching diamond, this character does not knowledge check people until like diamond masters, when people start going for DI mix-ups. And I feel like that even is more than either of these characters have to do baseline, if that makes sense. So I feel like he has to be at least here. But I feel like I would put him up there. Kragg. Okay, before it was here. Before it wasn't even close. Oh my god. Okay, before the patch, it was easily here. You could argue now that, you could argue now that he has to recover. He's up here. You could argue, but I think if you're in gold, this is God. This is God, easily. If you're in gold, this is God. You're seeing Jesus. Kragg GPT. I think, again, Kragg is a very good character to climb with. He has very, like, simple moves. Everything he does makes sense for the most part. He's got very clear strengths in, like, just big forward air, solid back air. I imagine at low levels, his recovery is still okay, because he gets his double jump back. His dare is still, like, the dumbest move in the game. Up air is a great juggle tool. He just does everything that he wants to do. And Rock is like a crazy good character. Rock is a crazy good character. It feels like Rock is a crazy good character. Down throw is also one of the best throws in the game. So I feel like Kragg is, if you're looking to pick up the game, Kragg does a lot for you, which is fine. All right, that's great. And I didn't mean to for it to work out like this with everyone in one, but I feel like Fleet is definitely the nobler. You know what I mean? I feel like Fleet's moves are simple enough, but you don't get like that big value out of Fleet unless you start integrating float into your game plan. And so I feel like that having to be like a degree of a knowledge check and a degree of what makes the character strong, especially off stage, puts her a tier above just the middle. That being said, once you have float down, the character becomes pretty simple. Because, like, you know what you're looking for off stage, right? Like, if they DI in on a forward air, you just kill them. And so you're looking for stuff like that. You can set up side Bs that are pretty simple for helping you recover, especially, again, in those lower ranks. Neutral air is just like a god button. And so you can super reliably just neutral air. Again, in those mid ranks of like gold, platinum, you can just neutral air and it'll get you out of danger. And I feel like down air is something that's hard for a lot of people to conceptualize counterplay for at those mid ranks. So I feel like Fleet, she has like the knowledge of like how do you float and how do you mix up with float. and how do you edge guard and recover and stuff like that. But I feel like that's all a step above what these characters have to do at a low level, where if you're playing Fleet with like out float or without an understanding of what makes float good, she doesn't get nearly as strong. So I think she needs a little bit of knowledge at the very least. Maple's a hard one. Because so here's my thinking. At a high level, Maple relies heavily on her ability to edge guard. Like, that's what makes her good. Also, thank you very much for the follow. What makes Maple good at a high level is how deep she can go off stage and how good her edge guarding is, which would put her up here if we're talking about high level, right? She would be up here if we're talking about high level. In the mid level, dash attack's a really good button. Forward tilt's a really good button. So that stuff comes through as something that helps her there. And people maybe don't know how to DI the mix-up. The mix-up on the tether into the up air. Gold players also don't know how to recover. And with Maple, you do kind of have to know how to recover. F tilt and neutral air are easy buttons, and her strong attacks are just good in general. Again, especially in that like gold range, you can get a lot of mileage off of those moves. But to really push this character, you do have to do quite a bit of like higher level stuff, right? Where you either need like hit falls integrated, you need knowledge of what confirms are and how to integrate those. You need knowledge of what your recovery looks like. You need knowledge of how to go deeper off stage. If you want to push this character at all, it requires like a high degree of confidence almost in your ability to like keep moving it up and then like set up stuff with Lily and adapt to people who can play around that. So I'm going to put her up here. I know some people might have her down here just because dash attack, but I'm going to put her up here. I think she has to do a little bit more than some of the other characters. And like, while forward tilt and nair are really good moves in neutral, they don't get the value that like a forward air or a down air or like so any move, right? Like those are more single hit than what a lot of the easier characters are doing. So you have to expand on it a little more. I think that's fair. All right. ChatGPT, how do I combo? ChatGPT, how do I combo? If they DI out on up throw, what do I do? ChatGPT, if they try to run in, what do I do? Okay. There is a reason that Claren is the most hated character at mid ranks, right? There's easily a reason. At that, like, again, gold, platinum level, Claren's tilts just carry. People don't know how to deal with jab. People don't know how to deal with forward tilt. People don't know how to deal with up tilt especially. And then as long as somebody is able to go into training mode for like a little bit of time, right? You just get the combos, right? And as people DI wrong, you're going to get the 50-50 off the throws. Like, stuff is going to go your way eventually. I think Claren is one of the easier pick up and play characters. And I think she makes a lot of sense for anyone playing the game. And again, having like a tipper and just a sword in general, like a big disjoint, puts you at an advantage for people who are still learning what it means to like space, if that makes sense. That being said, as you go up ranks, Claren gets harder, right? As you get closer to Diamond and Master and stuff like that, Claren gets harder because people start punishing her recovery. People start knowing how to DI the mix-ups and reacting to the mix-ups. And people start knowing how to space and play around tippers. I don't think she ever gets above here. She's probably still at most here. But as she goes up the ranks, she gets harder. But because we're talking about like the average ranked experience, she's easy for sure. But as you go up further, Claren definitely does get harder. A little bit. It's not like Claren is ever up here. Because, like, her gimmick is just comboing you forever. And so, by default, all you have to do is jump into trading mode. And as long as you've done that, you're already touching here. But I think at a lower level, this shit is so easy. It's so simple to wrap your head around. And it's just immediately good. It's not like there's any execution barrier to back throw F smash. And so, I think it's super easy to just rely on. Loxodon's another character that just kind of falls down here. He's probably harder than Claren, though. I didn't anticipate how many characters I would want to put in ChatGPT tier. It's just coming to me. It really is. It's just coming to me as we're doing it. Average Lox is a clueless lure? I don't think so. I think Lox, he's so fucking easy, man. You just jab, and you neutral air, and you forward tilt, and people at gold don't know what to fucking do. His up throw is so simple. Up throw magma's really good. People don't know how to deal with up smash. People don't know how to deal with your recovery. Again, if we're talking about like your average experience in ranked, as you move up, Lox just gets worse, but he doesn't get harder. He just gets worse. But realistically, Lox as a character, even once you get to these higher levels, is very, very simple. Yeah, countering Lox recovery is probably the most labbed thing at the mid-level. Yeah. Again, it's difficult because there's even still not good at it. That's the problem. Like, they're just not good at it. And honestly, people even in like higher ranks, like you can get to masters with it, people not really being good at gimping Lox. So it's not like something that just goes away. I think Lox's moves all make a lot of sense. There's some room for like skill expression in terms of like how you use the meatball and how you recover and how you use downbeat, right? There's skill expression there and you can build upon stuff, but you can build upon it the same way you build upon the other characters in ChatGPT tier, where at base level, it's super simple. In those mid ranks, it's super good. And it requires your opponent to figure out how to play around it before you have to change anything. Right? The default is you have a game plan that works in the mid-level, and then your opponent has to figure out how to make it not work, which is on them. Orcane, I would put in the average Joeler. And I know some people would put Orcane lower. And I think those people are getting stuck on Puddle. Getting stuck on like how Puddle works and stuff like that. Orcane is in every tier. I could get behind that. The real reason I put Orcane right in the middle is because he has a lot of like spammy moves, and again at that like mid level, nobody's really parrying Puddle. Yeah, nobody's really parrying Puddle, so you get away with a lot more than you do at like a higher level, and you have to be less creative. That being said, the thing that makes Orcane good is how like slippery his movement is and how he can like find pretty decent confirms off of his like quick moves. The other thing that he's really good at is when he has Puddle on stage, he can go pretty deep off stage. Both of those things I feel like require a greater understanding of like how the game works, how to move in the game, and then also how to like edge guard and how to counterplay in that regard. So I feel like some knowledge is required here. Again, if you're talking about like that gold platinum tier, sometimes you can just let his smash attacks rip and that's good enough. But at the same time, like if you get caught without a Puddle and then like you have a really hard time recovering, there's some variance here. So I think it's not quite as simple where it's just like good by default. Or I think there's some things to learn. And there's some things to figure out in terms of how you want to move with him and how do you want to play neutral with him. But again, it's not too difficult. It's just it's a little more difficult than some of these. I feel like you guys might hate me. I feel like Forsburn is a scroll haver. And can I put a character that just back airs and down airs and scroll haver? I can't. Okay, I'm putting him at the top of nowhere. I can't. He's not a scroll haver. He's not a scroll haver. I wanted to put him there. Okay. The reason Forsburn can be hard is because learning how to play around clone and learning how to play around the smoke can be difficult. He doesn't have like a bunch of super streamlined stuff. And maybe I'm thinking of him at like too high a level. Because also, yeah, he is a bunch of knowledge checks. You're right. So, okay. We need to make a distinction here for Forsburn specifically. Because you're right. In gold, nobody is floor hugging F smash. And that will carry you. But then when you get to diamond, everybody will. And then your whole game plan fucking sucks. So, like, what do we do with that? Because back air and down air also knowledge check you. And to be fair, dash attack is, because dash attack is a pretty good tool as well. You need to do it from the POV to begin with. Well, I mean, we were doing it from the POV of, like, playing in ranked. Playing in ranked, like, in general. How hard it is to, like, grab the character, play in ranked, and start doing well. I think we can move Forsburn down here because when you go into ranked off rip, this character's easy. And people will watch the video, so they'll know the context. When people hop into ranked, this character has a very simple game plan of, like, forward strong, down air, back air, moves that just, like, knowledge check you, even, like, clone to a degree. As you move higher, this character requires a lot more finesse and, kind of capability to be able to do what he does, effectively, right? You have to... Down tilt bear will put you in masters, assuming you can upbeat a ledge. Okay, so if we're talking about ranked, I think this character gets up here once you get to, like, masters and start having to, like, mix up what your game plan is and get creative. But I think you're right. I think everyone kept me in check. What we're doing is a tier list for, like, the ranked experience, and most people aren't getting to masters. Most people aren't even getting to diamond. And so for the average, like, ranked experience, he's not up here. He gets up here, but he's here if you're just hopping into ranked. And he's probably easier than Ranno, if I'm being honest. Etalus, he's a clueless lure, okay? He's a clueless lure. The only reason that Etalus is not in ChatGPT tier is because you kind of have to know what his combos do. And you kind of have to have, like, a little tech skill, a little flowchart to get full value out of this character. But once you do the little bit of labbing and get a little bit comfortable with it and know your routes, this character will carry you harder than any other character in the game. Easily. This character could get away with just playing advantage state until diamond. You are instantly diamond. Instantly. Once you get to diamond, people start counterplaying. But effectively, if you can like, again, lab your combo routes and figure out what just kills people who use their double jump and how to get it all off dash attack and get used to putting down ice, this character, you will spawn in diamond. Ugh. Jeez, the worst hiccup of all time. So we're going to put him in the clueless tier because at least there's like, you have to learn something. You can't just pick up and play Etalus. He doesn't make sense instantly. But once he does make sense, you're like unstoppable. It's not rage bait. It's real. His recovery is so hard. No, that's the thing. At mid-levels, nobody fucking covers his recovery. Which platinum player is gimping Etalus? That's not a real thing. People start gimping Etalus in gold. Olympia. Okay. Olympia is a hard one to rank. Because if we're talking about when Olympia came out, or the patch right after she came out, Olympia's in ChatGPT tier. She's really easy. But she's been nerfed twice since then, and nerfed twice significantly. To the point where her combo routes are harder, her moves are harder to hit, her recovery is harder to, like, convert with, and, like, gem is less oppressive. There's no way she's ChatGPT. You look at these characters, and you think a gold Andy is picking up Olympia and doing what these characters do in gold. You've lost your fucking mind. Okay? You've lost your fucking mind. People can't recover. I don't give a fuck. There's no way this character is doing in gold. I believe the average gold player could press up air. What's with these characters? They can do the same thing. What do you mean? People think this character is easy. And the fucked up part is, I agree to a degree. She's not hard. But she's not played very much at lower levels anymore because she's a little difficult. She's a little difficult at the very least. I'm putting her here. You have to learn a little bit. You have to learn how to recover. You have to learn how some of the combos work. You have to learn how to tech. Because if you can't tech well, she's just on the ground all the time and doesn't get to play the game. You have to learn what it's like to be like a fast faller. And then you also have to, like, learn how to play around now being, like, slow and pretty stubby. All of which is more than what these characters have to do. I would be tempted to put her here. If I wasn't getting bullied right now, this is where she would go. But instead she's going here, okay? Instead she's going here. But she's hard. Okay? She's harder than this shit. I think she's average. Especially now. I'm silver and I agree with you. Somebody said it, okay? Applewiz, thanks for coming. I'm a gold Ollie and I agree. That's what I'm saying. The people are here. They agree with me. You have to think. Even if the thinking is easy. I'm putting her here. Fuck you guys. That's my gold kings. All right. Absa's the Noller, for sure. But she's not as much the Noller as you think. It cannot be understated how many Ollies are hard stuck gold. That's what I'm fucking saying, bro. Thank you. Absa gets too much respect. I agree. I think if you ask the average person, they would put Absa up here. And that's a fucking lie. I'm so activated right now because the chat tilted me. Absa's here, okay? I'll tell you why Absa's here. Double jump character inherently has like a learning curve. Double jump characters are weird, which means that her disadvantage is also weird. All right? Next thing that's hard. She has to land sweet spots in forward air and back air, which again presents like a learning curve. Other thing, she's really light. So that is another learning curve. Those are the things that I think are difficult for people to pick up and play with Absa. But do you want to know what the hardest thing about Absa is? By far. Okay, guys? And this is the bell curve. We were talking about the bell curve earlier, okay? People at low level, like the lowest, like stone Absa, is like, I will forward tilt because it is strong, right? And then you get up the bell curve, and then people are like, oh, you have to do the zip cancel into the cloud, into the lightning kick, double jump cancel, forward air, into the fucking down air, light down air, into the double jump, and then you zip again, and then you figure out the cloud, and then you can or forward tilt, and then you can kill them. That's the middle of the bell curve. And then you go back down to Ant, and he's like, I will forward tilt because it is strong. Okay? The average Absa is thinking too hard. The hardest part about Absa is figuring out she has 3 moves that are fucking broken. Okay? F-tilt's broken. Forward air's broken. Down air's broken. If you can figure out how to use these 3 moves in conjunction with Cloud and Grab, it's all you fucking need, bro. You're overcomplicating it. It's actually simple. But because everyone wants to overcomplicate it, part of being the Noller is figuring out to not overcomplicate it. All right? Because overcomplicating these characters is impossible. Same with these. You could overcomplicate these ones, but that's fine. Okay? Part of the knowledge check of Absa is knowing there's a simple way out. Okay? There's a couple things you just do. And it's always gonna work. Okay. I feel good about that. Galvin. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted to put him in here. I'm really tempted. I could see him being here, but I'm really tempted. Oh, okay. Here's the argument. We're going to figure this out together. Galvin's neutral B is an absolute just dominator at low level, at mid level. Right? Just like dominant. Every single Galvin aerial makes so much sense and is just good and like can carry you. Especially back hit neutral air. That shit's broken. Okay? And it's all simple. It's all like pick up and play. Galvin also is so strong at the ledge. Like so strong. Where if you go and figure out how to play him at the ledge, it will carry you, again, to diamond. You will get to... It's like Etalus, where you will just get diamond if you know how to edgeguard people with Galvin. But you do have to figure out, like, how to edgeguard people. right? You do have to figure out how to edgeguard people. You do have to figure out, like, I guess, when to throw neutral B. And as you, like, push up higher in the ranks, what makes Galvin, some of the stuff that makes Galvin really good now is, like, what you can do with his recovery in unique ways. And also, the side B kill confirms that he got after side B was buffed. So I'm going to move him up to the Clueless Lure. Because he has a lot of stuff that's pick up and play and a lot of stuff that will carry you. But the stuff that is, like, really, really good, you at the very least need to, like, put some time into learning. And put some time into, like, figuring out. That being said, like, this character's a demon at mid-level. The only thing is his recovery, again, if you haven't, like, figured it out, is quite bad. Whereas these characters, their recovery is not bad at that, like, mid-level. So I think I would put him here. I think I would put him there. I think it's fine. He does a lot of great stuff though, right? Like he has a lot of built-in good stuff. So there's something to be said about that. This character's not hard though. Like, the Clueless Lure and the ChatGPT tier are characters that are, like, dirt simple to pick up. It's just these ones are somehow even easier than these ones. Okay, La Reina. I'm just waiting. Bro, you gotta have the scrolls. You gotta have the scrolls. She's so hard. Okay, La Reina is not as hard as Wrastor. But I would put her around here. I would. I would do it. And you were timed out by a La Reina? You're welcome. That's my doing for sure. Huh, do we really think that Fleet is the second hardest character in the game? You think La Reina is easy to pick up and play? The opinion Havler. Okay, there's no way. Here's what I'm going to say about La Reina. To play La Reina in any relevant way, okay? You have to learn how to play around the chair, which is already harder than what, like, all these characters are doing. Not only that, but her recovery is so bad. She's slow. And her moves don't work like a lot of other characters, like, just work simply. Recovery requires some labbing. And the way that she plays the game is a little unique compared to the other characters, especially, like, her combo routes going into up B and stuff like that. Yeah, I just, like, I have trouble imagining La Reina being an easy character to pick up and play at that, like, mid-level. I feel like there's a couple of things that you have to learn first. And I feel like potentially once the La Reina has, like, a gimmick figured out, or, like, a gimmick that is working, they'll probably climb quickly. But, yeah, I think La Reina's a little bit more on the difficult side. And again, like, her combos aren't necessarily super intuitive. She doesn't get the same, like, easy value. She has a little bit of a harder time playing neutral. Like, dash attack's pretty punishable. Down tilt's small. I think La Reina, in terms of, like, pick up and play, is definitely harder than Forsburn. I'm going to put Forsburn up 1, though. Because it felt right. I don't think she's above Fleet. She might even be at the bottom of this. Because she does like forward air and forward tilt, and nobody DIing your up throw are going to make her feel incredible. And then, yeah, strong attacks at a lower level, probably really nice as well. So I think that justifies moving her down a little bit. But I still think to push past that, again, the recovery is always going to be a difficulty, especially at the like mid-level. And oh yeah, I don't know. This is just how I feel about it. This is how I feel about it. In terms of like hardness to pick up and play in ranked, I think Wrastor's easily the hardest character. Easily. Do I think, okay, now I'm looking at the tier list. Do I think Maple is harder than Fleet? I think I might, man. But like, oh, if we are considering just picking up and playing Fleet in ranked, how many people are just picking up and playing Fleet? I guess he's just spamming the like arrows maybe is good. But Maple is kind of hard. And again, I think like Maple, the edge guarding is what makes Maple good. I'll put Maple there. I'm fine with Fleet being the second hardest character in a game is just a take that felt wrong. It felt like something I'm not willing to die on, which is... Yo, that's fine. Maple gets comboed hard. I can get behind it. I can get behind it. Her recovery is also bad if you don't know how to use it. I can get behind. I think Galvin should be in ChatGPT. I get it. My level 10 Fleet is better than a level 10 by a lot of other characters. That's really anecdotal. Maybe you should play Fleet. Okay, he's almost in ChatGPT. I gave my reasoning where I think he's a little bit above it. But I think there's like a gulf. And I actually might add it. Shit, I made this the wrong color. Get up here. Fuck! Ah! Where these characters are significantly easier than these characters. This is going to be the golfer. It feels like there's a big difference between the lower half and the top half, if I'm being honest. And maybe you disagree. Maybe you disagree. This one could just be Olympia's in the Gulf. I can see that. I can see both of them being there. Being in the Gulf. Honestly, I can kind of get behind it. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I'm fine with that. So, okay. I actually feel pretty good about this. I think, again, for this tier list from the perspective of, like, how hard is it to pick up and play them in ranked and, like, kind of improve over time, I think things shift around a little bit. I don't think we should break up the Nolar, if I'm being honest. I'm fine with it being that. I think as you go higher, like Forsburn gets harder. All of the average Joe characters get harder as you go up and become Nolar tier characters. I think Olympia does too, to a degree. And I think like Maple really goes up. La Reina probably goes up as you have to like push them further. And once we start talking about like masters, once we start talking about masters like Grandmaster Aetherian, this starts changing. But I think I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I think I'm pretty happy.